This is Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where each week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be speaking with Roland Grotheer of Eurogazm Magazine. We're proud to announce we've launched a new website at adultsitebroker.com. This attractive new site is easier to navigate and now includes this podcast inside of it. Check it out at adultsitebroker.com. Refer sellers or buyers to us at Adult Site Broker, and our affiliate program, ASB Cash, will pay you 20% of our broker commission. This can amount to tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Check out asbcash.com for more details and to sign up. And we're proud to announce our latest project, thewaronporn.com. You'll find articles on age verification laws and more on the industry's plight in the war on porn and the numerous attacks on us. Go to thewaronporn.com and check it out. Now time for our property of the week that's for sale at Adult Site Broker. We're proud to offer a premium campsite launched in 2010. It was designed and developed for models by models. Many of their current hosts have been with them for over a decade due to high traffic, high payouts, tons of earning options, a robust model interface, and more. The site has safety features like the ability to block and report customers, geo-blocking, and geo-hiding. The owner started an adult as a doorman at the Men's Club of Charlotte. As an entrepreneur with little coding experience, he built their prototype site. Once the first dancer from the club made some money, more followed and the site took off. Their database has over 127,000 registered users and over 1,100 registered models. Potential buyers with access to models, dancers, or creators can onboard their current talent and increase sales quickly. White label owners can instantly double profits by switching to their own platform. Also, investing in recruiting and hiring hosts or onboarding new talent pays off instantly. If a host is added today, it is reflected in revenue immediately. Only $926,000. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is Roland, and I know I'm going to screw up the name, Grotheer of Eurogazm Magazine. Roland, thanks for being with us on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Oh, it's a big pleasure. Thanks a lot for the invitation, Bruce.
It's great to have you. Roland studied photography and graphic design in school. He's worked as a journalist and graphic designer for print magazines. He did design development for adult DVDs, remember those, in Germany. He created one of Europe's first online porn DVD shop, along with our friend Andy Wullmer. He was a webmaster and affiliate for more than 100 porn tubes. He has a company called iMob Traffic, that's spelled IMOB, where he works as an affiliate, does SEO, creates sites, and does consulting. He promotes the Gaelic WWW Conference in Ireland every other year. Starting last year, he launched Eurorgazm Magazine, which brings the adult content creator and online gaming industries together. He also works as a European brand ambassador for our friends at Mojohost. That's all you do, really? Wow. You must have a lot of time on your hands, Roland.
Yeah, thanks to my wife. She takes over a lot of these things. So I don't do it alone, especially all the SEO stuff. It's more Tanya's business than mine.
Fabulous. So, Roland, when did you get your start in the adult industry, and what did you do before that besides what I've discovered?
Yeah, so most of it you said already. So I worked for 5 years after studying graphic design in Hamburg, in the Media Park in Hamburg. And I did a lot of catalogs and print magazine work there. That was my favorite, and I really loved it. And one of our biggest clients was MMV, Multimedia Verlag, and we created their covers for their porn DVDs and VHS cassettes. And one day, the owner of the company came to me and asked me to work full-time for him. This is when I switched into the adult business and became head of graphic design department there. That was my first meeting with Andy. It was fun times. He worked in the same company as international license dealer. So yeah, we met early, 1999.
Wow. A long time ago.
Yeah, we are old. You, me, him.
Me too. I'm even older. Your company's name, iMob Traffic, suggests that it originally focused on traffic. Is that what you're still doing?
Yeah, that's, as you said before. So after working all the things with the DVD covers and doing the porn DVD shop and selling a lot of DVDs online, after that, I focused more and more in affiliate business because I learned SEO and I learned how easy it was in these years to rank really good in Google Germany. It was like you create a new website, 7 days later, you are number one. This is when I focused totally on doing websites. And this is still our main business. Right now, we run about 100 tube and dating sites, all in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. So we are totally focused on the German-speaking markets. That's my main income. That's my main business. But it's sometimes, a bit lonely job. You sit in front of the computer all day and in the home office. So I found out that most fun was always going to the conferences. And then I thought we need to change a little bit and go away from only doing websites and do other stuff like the Gaelic, for example. Or magazine.
Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So you're managing websites for other people or you're managing your own sites?
No, it's all our own sites.
Your own sites.
The only thing we do for others is we do external SEO. So if you have a website and need some help with SEO, we offer this service. But all the websites we do on our own. So I love generating organic traffic and monetize it.
Fantastic. Well, since you started in the adult business 25 years ago, your focus has shifted significantly. Don't say shifted significantly too many times. You're not going to get it. From running a tube site to organize the Gaelic Conference and launching Eurorgazm Magazine, what motivates and drives you to start new projects?
We're getting old and standstill is death. So I like to start new things and make new experiences. And as I said, my highlight as a webmaster was always visiting conferences and meeting new faces. For that reason, I thought maybe I can make this part of the business and create some points to meet myself, like the Gaelic Conference, and bring people together and make our business more feel like a small family, because I really love to socialize with new and old friends. I think that's the most important thing why I started the Gaelic Conference, and it's nearly the same with the Eurogazm Magazine, because it's the same focus, bringing people together, bringing businesses together, and maybe bring together what doesn't belong together.
Yeah, most definitely. How have you seen conferences change since you got into the industry?
They're getting bigger, but I don't like it. So
really?
Yeah, my favorite conference is the TES, and there's many shows. I mainly visit shows in Europe. I can't say much about the shows in the US, but in Europe the TES was the biggest one, and now it's of course not. The AW has much more attendees, but I like it familiar, and I like it if I don't need to make hundreds of appointments before the show, because I have enough time and just go there relaxed and find spaces to talk to the right people. And the bigger the show gets, the more I feel like a foreigner, like a stranger. Yeah, I like the small shows.
Yeah, and TES started as a smaller show, obviously. Every show grows. When they were the Barcelona Summit, they had a few, was it like 300 to 500 people, right?
Yes. And I think that's a good number, actually, to do business. If it's the right people, you don't need more. So don't get me wrong. It's great if you make a show with 3,000 people. But if it's a show and every company brings 9 promo girls and things like this, it doesn't mean you make better business than if it's only the CEO coming. So more people doesn't mean more business.
Well, if every company brings 9 promo girls, you just spend the whole time distracted.
Then you have other business to do there.
No doubt. Let's talk about the Gaelic conference. You first held it in Ireland in 2016. Describe the conference and why did you start it in the first place?
When I started it, I didn't want to do a conference. I just invited some webmaster friends for a grill party in my garden because I moved in 2015 to Ireland and I fall totally in love with Ireland. So I just invited some webmaster friends to do a barbecue. Unfortunately, or luckily, Andy and Julius heard about it and they started to promote it a little bit and talk to people that there will be a webmaster meeting in Ireland. So it became more and more people asking me if they can join. And after being more than 100, I said, okay, my garden is not big enough. And then I looked for a hotel that I was able to book. And we did the first Gaelic conference. This was more by accident. But on the first show, there was like 220, I think, attendees. And yeah, then the conference was born and I said, okay, let's do it. And in 2017, we did it again, but then I saw it's too much work beside my main business doing websites. So for this reason, we do it just every 2 years now. Yeah, the reasons, as mentioned, I love Ireland and I wanted to show the beauty of Ireland and the Irish lifestyle to my friends. And besides that, I wanted to offer them a cozy atmosphere to make good business and a very relaxed way. I think we found a niche that has not been covered yet because I don't know if you remember, but it doesn't feel like a show. So on the arrival day, we always do this early arrival tour, making some bus travel to nice locations, have a few drinks together, and then the ice is broken and everyone sits down on the first evening in the bar and starts doing business.
There you go. Well, you talk about the bar. Ireland has some of my favorite drinks, so there you go. I do love Irish whiskey. There's no two ways about it. That's good stuff. I think I like better is a Scotch, but you know.
No. In 2026, the early arrival tour will be a pub crawl to Galway, so maybe you have to join us again.
Yes, that sounds like fun. You know, you mentioned why you're only doing it every other year because a show takes so much work. I was putting a show together until I realized that the partner I had in it was a real asshole who wanted me to do all the work. So I basically told him to stuff it. I won't say who and I won't say where. But anyway, I was going to do that. And really, I did a lot of the advanced work already. So maybe I'm the idiot before I pulled out. And I realized, my regular business went to shit. You really have to put a lot of time, a lot of resources into this and forego a lot of other things. How are you able to do everything else, even having a show every other year?
What helps me a lot is before I started in the adult business, my father ran his own event agency. And I worked a lot and helped him a lot when I was younger there. And so he did exactly the same. He organized in Germany, not in adult business, but he organized with his company events and conferences. So I had a lot of experience how to do it and how to manage it. And this helps me, of course, a lot.
So you already had an experience on what you needed to do, and maybe you can save yourself some time.
Yes, for sure. And of course, I'm not alone. So my wife does a lot of phone calls and a lot of like finding the right hotels and travel around the island and check everything out. So it doesn't feel like work you have to do. It's more like vacation if you do it with your wife. You have your dogs with yourself. So sometimes it feels like vacation organizing this conference. But of course, I focus on doing a good job. But as far as I know, everyone was happy last time.
So for those of us who haven't been to your conference, tell the listeners about it from start to finish and why they should go.
Why they should go? Because beside all the fun, it's really a place where you can do good business. Normally, we have just between 50 or 100 in that range attendees. But I always call it like a decision maker conference because, as I said, you don't find promo girls. You don't have a meat market where everyone gives away some plastic shit nobody needs. It's really a meeting of people you can directly work with and make decisions with. So a handshake in the evening and the business is done. And I always promote it like you don't need booking tool or whatever to make appointments before the show, because we guarantee that you will have enough time and enough space to talk to every other attendee in a nice atmosphere. So it's easy to get in touch with other people. And we organize a lot of panels, a lot of roundtables and discussion rounds in a really relaxed atmosphere. And it's a lot of fun. You know, we have a good mix. We have a good mix of nature, of doing business, and also of entertainment in the evenings. But even the entertainment in the evenings is not visiting a nightclub where the music is so loud that everyone can dance, but nobody can talk.
Don't you hate that? Yeah.
I totally hate it. So at TES, I sit at the night bar because this is where the biz is done. And we do the same. We sit in the last year in the Railway Bar in Roscommon Town. It's a very small village pub and it's a calm atmosphere, but it's relaxed. It's open. So I would say you must make that experience yourself and just visit us for one time, because we are called Gaelic Conference, but we are not a conference like the others.
Okay, maybe you should change the name.
Yeah, Andy tells me that every day.
Andy's a smart man. We know that.
How should I call it? Gaelic, it was meant to be a barbecue conference.
Yes, that sounds great. That's perfect. Was meant to be a barbecue. How many participants do you expect for the show in 2026? And what should they expect to find if someone comes to the conference, other than what you've already talked about?
I expect 50 to 100. I don't think it will be more or less than last time. And what should they expect? Oh, we have one totally new thing in 2026, because we do the show in Roscommon Town. Maybe nobody knows where it is, but it's the Midlands of Ireland. So in the middle of nowhere, and like 2.5 hours by car from Dublin Airport. So it wasn't always easy for our attendees to visit us there. So we do something new in 2026. The first evening, we will all meet in Dublin. So the first night, you can book full packages. So we take care of the hotel bookings and everything. So we will all meet in Dublin in a hotel, have a nice evening, have a nice dinner together. And the next morning, we have buses and bringing all the guys all together to Roscommon, where the conference is held. So it will be a 4-day event in the next year instead of 3 days we had before.
Why don't you target more people? You talked about 220 the first year. Have you intentionally made it smaller?
Both. It happened and I was happy about it because, as said, the meaning was never for me to do another conference. There is so many conferences. There's so many big conferences. And I think they do a very good job. They have big teams. So first of all, I cannot manage with my small team, just my wife and me, organizing a conference for thousands of people. So this will not work. And on the other side, there is no need for this because there is great conferences. If you love that, go there. Everything is fine. We wanted to create something completely different, like the barbecue in the garden. And now it's still the same. It's not a barbecue in the garden, but it's still a come together of close business friends and decision makers. Yeah, the name is wrong. It's not a conference, and I don't want to do a conference like all the others.
You know, a lot of the shows now, like TES, have diversified away from just adult. Your show is strictly adult, right?
I never focused on that, but yes, it is.
Okay.
I can't say why, and of course, everyone is welcome, but since 2016, it was always a come together of adult specialists only.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I like it.
I miss it. Although TES is still amazing, and about, I'd say 70% are still adult, and you get 2,000 people, so do the math. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Now, I like the days where, everybody was there for the same reason. It certainly saved time sorting through people, especially when there's that many people. But of course, in a smaller show, that's not as important.
One nice side thing about the conference is, it's a pure porn show, as you said, a pure adult show. And we do it in the most Catholic country in Europe. And Roscommon town is the most Catholic town on the whole island. So happily, until now, I think the hotel has no idea what our show is about.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because, yes, it is a very religious country.
Yeah, and we do it in a wedding hotel. So this is really, that's my kind of humor.
Oh, my God. That is your humor. That definitely is your humor. I mean, I think there have actually been porn events here in Thailand, but always very hush-hush. Yeah, because porn is just so incredibly illegal here. I don't think it's illegal in Ireland, right?
No, it's not. But I tell all the sponsors that on the roll-up banners, on the flyers, there should be no nudity or something like that. Because we don't want to have any problems or any issues.
Exactly.
They are really kind people, so we shouldn't put them too much into our business.
Absolutely. So you had previously planned an event in the Eternal Ice, the Polar WWW, here we go with that word again, conference. Do you think it's ever going to become a reality because you had to postpone that?
I really hope so. That's my dream. And we wanted to do it in 2023, but I had no idea how difficult it is to make a booking for an ice hotel in Norway. The problem is, if I do it, I want to do it right. I want everybody to see the Northern Lights or whatever, but it's not like you go to the north and you see the Northern Lights every night. So there's only few special places in Europe where you have really a big chance, like 80-85% to see them. So I figured out there's a very small town in Norway called Alta. It's one of the most north places in Norway. They don't even have an airport. They just have an ice field where some special planes can land. And I found a nice hotel there. Right now, it really looks good that I can finish to do the final booking because it's a very luxury leisure hotel. And just beside the hotel, they build an ice hotel every winter. So our plan for 2027 is, I think at latest in July or August this year, I can 100% say I got the signed contract back or not. So I sent them every documents already. I signed everything. I'm just waiting now for their final response because they don't need us. They are sold out every year anyway.
Oh, sure.
But that's what we want to do. We want to do of course, we cannot stay 3 days and nights in the ice hotel because even at daytime, and there will be no daytime in winter, it will be darkest night, and the highest temperature will be minus 25, minus 30 degrees Celsius. So, of course, we do it in the nice hotel, but doing some parties, doing some cocktail meetings or whatever in an ice hotel, I think this is an experience we will never forget.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, when it's that cold, count me out, man. I live in Thailand, just a bit cold. Just a bit cold for me. Call me a pussy if you want, but
I do all the times when we meet.
I know you do.
No, but that's one reason why I thought I want to do it because people like you, people like Andy, people like everyone, every CEO from our business, they have been at conferences everywhere. No matter if it's the Caribbean or if it's the Maldives or whatever, if it's Thailand. Everywhere. They have been everywhere, but nobody has ever been at the Polar Circle. And I think it's beautiful as well. So maybe you need a few more jackets or whatever. But I think it's an experience you will not forget if you visit that.
I wouldn't forget it. No, I'd be inside with the heat most of the time. But like I'm inside with the aircon here, but that's another story. Let's talk about your newest project, Eurorgazm Magazine. You did an interview with me early on, and I do appreciate that. Have you been planning Eurogazm for a long time, or was it more of a spontaneous idea?
I think it shows my midlife crisis. I started like that, and it was always my favorite job and my favorite fun. I love to work as a graphic designer and as a journalist, and I just stopped it. And, things happen in life, and you find yourself in a completely different business. So the main reason why I do it now, after dreaming about it since many years, is you remember Günther. Günther, a good webmaster friend of mine, he just died a few months ago. And he was in my age, same age. And I know he has had so many dreams, what he wanted to do. And he always said, later, next year, I want to start this. So honestly, when he died, when he passed away, I decided I do the magazine now because you never know what happens in the future. And I want to do it since years. So the time is now, and I did it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, it can be certainly a tribute to Gunther.
It is.
Good.
It is.
Beautiful. Yeah, he was a lovely guy. He was definitely a lovely guy. Everyone adored him. Everyone adored him. Eurogazm exists both online and in print. Why do you go through the trouble and the expense, by the way, since print editions are known to be expensive and require significantly more effort than an online-only magazine?
Though you sound 100% like my wife. She said the same, don't do it. You know, the risk is so much higher because it's thousands of dollars to make that print magazine, because even the first issue had much more than 100 sites. And if I do it, I want to do it in a really high quality. But I'm old school. You know, I don't even read ebooks or something. I like the feeling of paper in my hands and go through it. So for me, it's more like it's a print magazine, and we also have an online version of it. But my main focus is print magazine, and I do it really in a style that I hope people will like it the same as I do, and maybe collect it and put it in their bookshelf or whatever. Because it's really, I focus a lot on the content and also a lot of the graphic design and the artwork and everything. It must be a print edition. That's what I wanted to do, even if it's not needed, of course, because all the articles can be found on the website as well.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll have an online reader as well.
Yeah, of course. Most of the readers are online readers.
Of course.
Yeah. But we give the print magazine away on all the trade fairs across Europe. Not only the adult shows, also we go. We are at gaming events. We are at content creator meetups in Germany and other countries. So at all these trade fairs, you can get it for free, and also you have the opportunity to order it from the website. But then you have to pay for it.
There you go. So, how would you describe Eurogazm?
I can tell you the slogan we have on the website, and the slogan we have on the website is, we strongly believe that the adult business, the content creator industry, and the online gaming community share more similarities than differences. And this is what our magazine is all about. We want to bring together people that never work together, and we want to cross borders because there's so many people, for example, working in the gaming community and are scared to have relationships in adult business because they are scared to lose their sponsors or whatever if they find out they also do business with content creators or whatever. And I want to break that ice and bring us together, because in the end, we all have more or less the same business. So you can call the Eurogazm magazine maybe like the everything you can make money with in the internet magazine, because this is what it's about and what I want to be about. That's very important for me. And of course, it's not easy, because even if I have stories or tutorials about the adult business, I need to take care that the magazine can still be shown at a gaming community meeting where people have no contact to adult. So it's like walking on the edge, but I think we do a good job about it.
Okay. You often emphasize, and you just talked about this, the similarities between industries, Twitch streaming, OnlyFans, or the adult business. Give us an example of this.
Oh, I can give you many. The best one is maybe the ASMR. I don't know if you know that fetish or niche or whatever. Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, ASMR. It's a big trend on Twitch. Let's say it's like, making sounds that relax the people that are stressed in the office or whatever. So you have their girls scratching their skin very softly or just breathing calmly or whatever. Yeah, it's strange, but it's a really huge thing on Twitch. And there are on these channels, of course, it's mainly girls doing this.
I was gonna say, does it have guys scratching their balls too?
No, but there's, for example, for me it sounds funny, but it's a really big thing on Twitch. They have a microphone in the form of an ear, and then they lick this ear and the sound of it. Then you see, wow, there's 12,000 people listening to that girl right now. So I dived a bit deeper and I was looking for ASMR on OnlyFans. And guess what? Same. Huge trend okay, there the girl is naked, but doing exactly the same what the people on Twitch do. And then I put ASMR on xhamster.com, and there's a big category with thousands of videos with the same fetish. So this is a great example that it's one niche, but it covers Twitch, it covers OnlyFans, it covers xhamster, and you find also online games like Cyberpunk 2077, where this takes place in some corners of the story. So I think we have a lot of similarities.
Indeed. The magazine features new weekly interviews with various key figures from different industries. How important are these interviews to you, since they even have their own dedicated section in the magazine?
For me, it's one of the main components of the magazine, because, as I said before, I love bringing people together, and I love to show the person behind a brand or behind a company, because you can make much better business with someone that you know and that you respect and that you maybe find he can become a friend in personal life as well. It's the same when I see my webmaster work. I don't send the traffic to that company where I can make 10 euro more revenue in a month or whatever. For me, it's also important to have trust to that company, to know the people, and to love working with them. And I want to help to get to know more of the leaders of our business. So we do these interviews at least once a week, sometimes 2 interviews a week. So no matter if it's the online magazine or in the print magazine, 30% is interviews with decision makers of our industry.
I was just going to say, don't shoot your wad because you may run out.
Hopefully not. But I'm a lucky guy. It's not only adult, If I don't find anyone here, I go to Twitch or I go to the Gamescom and find new people.
There you go. Fantastic. So Eurogazm is not the first magazine in our industry. We've got the late, great FUBAR, of course, that kind of died with JFK, unfortunately. Payout, Come Shoot Me, and various online ones like XBiz, etc. Do you see them as competition, and where do you position Eurogazm?
First of all, I don't like word competition at all, because I think the market is big enough for all of us. And the more magazines there are, the better it is, because then you can choose what you want to read or not. But if I compare the Eurogazm magazine to FUBAR, to Payout magazine, to Come Shoot Me, there's one huge difference. If I see it right, these magazines mainly focus on covering shows, doing great picture stories about the shows and things like this. And this is something we don't do, or we nearly don't do. Of course, we do a few pictures when we are visiting a show, but we are more like journalistic magazine, with a lot of tutorials, with a lot of stories, with a lot of news about laws, about tax laws, regulations, or whatever. So our magazine, if you have it in your hand, it's more like a book. So it's really a lot to read and a lot to work through. We want to share information. I think this makes us a little bit different. So maybe you can compare it to the XBiz magazine, but there's a huge difference, because we are a pure European business magazine. So we are focused on the European market, on the European regulations, on the European laws, and everything that is related to do this business in Europe. So that's the biggest difference, I would say.
So I would imagine you're looking for advertisers for your magazine?
Everyone. Yeah. Welcome to capitalism. Of course. So advertisers, sponsors, business partners, always welcome. If you have any idea how to cooperate, how to work together and make it beneficial for both sides, just contact us. We are always open for everything. But one thing is for sure, we will not be a pure advertising magazine or whatever. Yeah. So we clearly show this is stories, this is tutorials, and this is an advertising spot. So I don't like the idea of having paid content or something and then make the article look like it's just advertising for a company.
Like advertorial was what they call it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that word, but that's it. Exactly. Yes.
You won't be doing those.
No, this is not our focus.
Okay.
Of course, we have advertising spots, like everyone. Of course, you can get in the print magazine a full page ad, half page ad, or whatever, and the same on the online. But it will be marked as this is content and this is advertising.
Okay. I get the distinct impression you didn't do this necessarily to make a buck.
I will be happy if I stop paying the printing myself. So of course we need to monetize it so far that it's a zero business for me, because this is what I always wanted to do. This is what I love to do. This is if I can't sleep in the evening, I don't watch television. I work on the next article. But the main business that I make my money for a living with is IMOP traffic. And we have good websites. We have good rankings. We have good traffic. So I don't need this magazine to earn money. But of course, my wife will kill me if I don't stop paying the printing myself in the future.
If it's a tremendous money pit, she's not going to let you do it.
No, right. She says, look, it's your hobby. Do it. And you focus so much. You put so much effort in it. So make sure we don't pay for it. But we're on a very good way. So no problem at all. And I really love doing this. So I can promise the Eurogazm magazine will follow you for a long time. I will not stop that.
Well, it's very obvious your passion for what you're doing, Roland. And that's one thing I've always found about you. Everything you do, you're passionate about. Would that
life is short.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's not only business-wise, it's same in private life. But yes, the older I get, the more I focus on, if you do something, if you want to do something, do it right or don't do it at all.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, let's put the job aside for a moment. Let's talk about who Roland is. What do you like in your private life, and how do you spend your non-working hours?
At the moment, it's switching a bit. The last 20 years, I put all my private life, all my time and all my passion in saving animals. We ran our own sanctuary for abused animals in the Czech Republic for many years. And we lived there together in the worst times with more than 50, 60 animals. But right now I'm reducing it because it makes something, it was always, it was, that if it's stray or from really bad people, the animals, they were all sick. They were all injured or whatever. So you always lived with all this suffering around you. And this makes something. This makes something with you. And there was one day that I said to myself, okay, my mental health is not as good as it should be because this really made me depressive. So we switched it and we put away many of these animals to other sanctuaries. And now I focus on paying for this and supporting other sanctuaries, but I cannot do it myself anymore in this big way I did it before. Yeah, but that's my private passion. There's so many shit going around. So there's a saying, if you save one stray cat or whatever, you don't change the world and you don't make the world better. But I think for this one cat, you changed everything and you make everything better. So it's worth it. For that reason, I'm not allowed to visit the icon in Cyprus anymore because whenever
you'd come back with 32 cats.
Yeah, I always came back with stray cats, and it's really fucking expensive to get.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere in Cyprus. I couldn't believe it. Every time I went to dinner, there were like 5 of them.
Yeah, and that's my problem. When I went to dinner with my colleagues there, I was under the table catching the most injured cat and bring it to a doctor. And now he lives here in Germany with us. So I can't go to Cyprus anymore. But it's not only animals. I'm the civilization god. I'm not sure if you know the Sid Meier's Civilization PC games. It's 7, I think. 7th version is right now on the market. Andy always makes joke with it, but whenever a new Civilization game hits the market, nobody sees or hears me for the next 2 weeks because then I just close the door and I live in that world.
That's funny.
Even playing computer, I do very passionate, like a junkie.
I love it. Well, we certainly share that passion about animals. We have 5 dogs and we rescue strays from here in Thailand, and that's something that's very important to me. So we certainly share that. And I love the fact that you did that and still rescue the pets from time to time, Roland. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So whenever you visit a show, or any other guy listening to this visits a show, come to our meat market table, because wherever IMOP traffic has a meat market table, we have also a box to collect money for sanctuaries.
Beautiful.
Just to have it said.
Okay. I'll take care. I'll make sure and contribute. You got it. I didn't know that, but now I do. Hey, Roland, I'd like to thank you for being our guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk, and I hope we'll get a chance to do this again soon.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Bruce, and hopefully see you soon.
I certainly hope so. My broker tip today is part 7 of what to do to make your site more valuable for when you decide to sell it later. Last week, we talked about trademarking your site and ways to make it unique. Next, when you decide to sell your website, make sure you have the following information available for potential buyers. Detailed information about your company, your website, and any other aspect of your operation the potential buyers may want to find out about. This should include, for a pay site, a detailed inventory of your content, number of images and number of videos, how much of those are exclusive and how much are non-exclusive. Financial information for at least the last 3 years if your company is that old. This should include sales reports, profit and loss statements, and billing reports. Get all the information organized in a legible format that a good broker can use to sell your property. If you decide to sell it yourself, organize a list of potential buyers and start the process of contacting them. Be realistic about what your company is worth. In today's market, the kiss of death is overpricing your property. Is there anything that a potential buyer needs to know, such as, are you being sued? Do you have any substantial debts? Don't let these things be a surprise to the potential buyer. They'll either find out before the sale and not buy, or they're going to find out after the sale and you'll have another lawsuit on your hands. Disclose everything. We'll talk about this subject more next week. And next week, we'll be speaking with Mark Prince of TooMuch.net. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Roland Grotheer. Talk to you again next week on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.